friends, and my family. This is Trevor Chapman, modern-day man, entrepreneur, achiever, purveyor of the good life, student of life, marketer. After over 10 years in business, tens of millions of dollars, I've learned this one thing. There's too much noise. It takes tactics and strategy. You can't buy it, you earn it through experience. Failure after failure hones the craft. You must become a warrior. It's time to run. The experience you can't buy. You had to have earned it. It's my turn to give back and contribute. I share all of my lessons from 7 to 8 and from 8 to 9 figures. We'll see if it goes from 9 to 10, but I'm gonna give it all to you. Consistency, persistence, dedication, vision, time, discipline, work. I'm gonna give it all to you so that you learn from where I failed and you learn from my experience. My brothers, this is your daily fuel.
My friends, how are you? This is Trevor. I've got a few things to say to you today, but first I want to start with some things that were said to me. Be nice to others, play well with others, eat the peas, eat all of the food that is on your plate. Go to school, get good grades, do all of your homework, do the extra credit, raise your hand, answer every question. Don't ask too many questions, fit in. Wear what others are wearing. Don't be an idiot. Don't be a loser. Stand up and be a man. Be who you are, but fit in. Wear what everyone else is wearing. Say what everyone is saying. What? You say that? That's so last year. Don't take risks. And just kind of stay in society's comfort zone. My friends, my dear friends, who are shackled ball and chain to the phrases that proliferate our lives from childhood until the days we die. I beg you to cut loose. None of this has any relevance on your life whatsoever. It is not the people that fit in, that stay in society's comfort zone, that eat all of their peas, that end up doing anything truly remarkable. As the famous 1984 commercial said, it is the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the round pegs in the square holes, the people that didn't eat their peas, the people that did not get straight A's because they recognized what they were passionate about and they recognized what they could literally care no less about and didn't pay attention to it. The people that didn't care if their teachers said they were an idiot. You know, when I was in 9th grade, I joined academic decathlon so that I could travel. That was literally the only reason. I found out that they had a couple spots and me and a couple of my buddies joined right before so we could travel. That teacher wrote a song to the tune of Desperado and sang it. It went something like this. Trevor Chapman, why don't you come to your senses? You've been something for so long. Okay, I don't remember the words. All I know was that she berated me. And in today, should that have happened, it would have been all over the news. I look back and I wonder why it didn't affect me. I look back and I wonder why I just didn't get red in the face and embarrassed and put my head down. But I counted it for some reason as a win. A win that I, whatever I was, had affected an authority figure in such a manner that they felt the need to lash out. Do you want to know what happened? This is what happened. all the homework was optional. Now, I'm not recommending that you do this, and I wouldn't ever recommend this to my children, but I'm telling you a true story from my past. Do not judge the 34-year-old Trevor based on the actions of the 13-year-old Trevor, all right? I had only been on this planet for 13 years at this point, but the homework was optional. All that mattered was a final test that you took, so I just didn't do any of it. And any assignment was totally optional. So I literally did nothing the entire year. We traveled, we had fun, and at the end of the year, this class, hey, this was academic decathlon. This was filled with everybody who loved academia, which at that point in time was not necessarily me. Oh man, I loved reading. I consumed ravenously, but I read what I wanted to read. I loved knowledge. I practically memorized the encyclopedia. But when you hand me Siddhartha, why? Why am I a freshman reading Siddhartha? I just had no interest in it. And so the day before the final test, I read Siddhartha, the book that was on it. I read as much as I could about the brain. That year, the brain was the topic. The class was graded on a curve. I stayed up all night studying, went to class that next day, and sat down to take the test. I'm a pretty good test taker because I typically see things in perspective. And I really saw this test for what it was. Okay, if I get, these kids are no more intelligent than me. They're more prepared, but they're no more intelligent. So even if I do marginally well, I'll get a C or B. And C's are horrible. My dad will freak out. But it won't be the end of the world. I don't get testing anxiety. And other anxieties don't really plague me. The only, off topic here, the only thing that plagues me is human relations. I get anxiety when I feel that my relationship with people is either misunderstood, not what it's supposed to be, etc. Because after all, we only have our names. And our names walk before us on the shoulders of other people, and they can typically illustrate our names however they want. That aside, I knew that the quiz was also graded on a curve, so I didn't even have to do all that well. I just had to I just had to score on the test roughly where the other kids were going to score on the test. Now, these were against all the kids in my school that were the AP kids. They were the kids that were just at the top of the game academically. So I planned on, doing the best I could, but I realized these kids literally consumed all this and did all the extra credit, etc. And I, frankly, didn't pay any attention. I was there to travel. Well, it so happens that on the 3 tests that were taken, I got the best score on all 3. While it wasn't a perfect score, it was the best in the class. And because it was graded on the curve, I, in turn, got a perfect score. And that's why the next day, my teacher sang that song that she reworded it Desperado. And why Desperado? Because while all of my buddies were listening to DMX and the popular songs of the day, I liked the Eagles. I liked Desperado. I didn't care that it was from my parents' generation. You're not going to impact anybody by doing what society says you're supposed to do. Know the rules so that you can break them. And by breaking them, you will lead your own revolutionary war, found a nation internally, create an environment externally that others can thrive in, because you, as the leader, have curated an atmosphere that allows the freedom of human expression. Express yourselves. Express yourselves. I've been asking this question lately on the podcast as I interview people. How much of your desires growing up were truly yours, and how many of them were desires that you thought you were supposed to desire? I ask this because it's interesting. I still don't know about myself. While I'm self-aware, and I'm self-aware of the fact that I'm self-aware, which in and of itself is this mind-boggling, incredible miracle, I still am on a journey to understand myself and my actions and what I do. But I do know one thing, that the rules, the statements, the norms, and what is regular for society at any day is typically the antithesis to high achievement. You got to think about it. Our governments are created to keep us moving, but not moving so fast that we get out of control. That's how society works. It's Machiavellian. If you've got something to say, say it. If you've got something to do, more importantly, because action speaks so much louder than words, do it. Do it. Focus, obsess, and do it. The best part is this. While authority figures pretend to understand the world that we are in right now, the best news is to do whatever you believe you can do to impact the world the most with your innate thought process and gifts and talents, because this new world that we are in, where information travels around the globe multiple times a second, where we're thinking thoughts that have never been conceived because they couldn't have been conceived without every experience that we have today that could never have been experienced in the past. I could go on. The chain goes deep. In this brave new world, nobody knows what the rules are. So don't pay attention to those that want you to keep them. My friends, break the rules. Until tomorrow, all my love and all my respect. Trevor, out.